Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to beautiful British Columbia. There's a test and experiment that I want to do today, and that is the levels of charging that we can get on our Model Y. And it's going to be starting with the UMC and go all the way up to V3 supercharger, 250 kilowatts of pure energy. Let's give this a try. So there we have the UMC plugged into a regular wall socket. Let's plug the other end in to Model Y, and let's see what some amazing speeds we have here. So it is 23 degrees outside, and we're at 54% state of charge, which equals 273 kilometers of range on the battery. We've ramped up to 12 amps and we're at 118 volts. And look at that very, very impressive 6 kilometers an hour, which is odd because I think the Model 3 was getting up to 8 kilometers an hour. So 5 kilometers an hour isn't that good. And look at that, to go from 55% up to 85%, it's going to take a grand total of 16 hours and 25 minutes. Let's pretend that we were wanting to go on a trip. Let's move it up to 100%. There, 24 hours plus to get up from 50% up to 100%. Well, that's rather crappy, isn't it? Anyway, there you go, 6 kilometers an hour on your UMC. Of course, if you're only doing, I don't know, 15 kilometer each way to work, so 30 kilometer round trip, every night you came home and you plugged your car in, this is going to give you more than enough for that single duty of getting you to work and back. But if you're wanting to do anything else, like go shopping or go on a little bit of a trip, this is definitely not the way to go. Alright, let's go to the next type of charging. Well, here we are now at one of the 7 charge point locations in my town. Of course, you need to have your J1772 adapter to use any of these charge point locations. Let's see what we've got. So temperature is 23 degrees. We're at a state of charge of 55%. And let's see what that is in range. So 278 kilometers worth of range. And we are putting in approximately 34 kilometers an hour. Now this is a 30 amp service, so 30 out of 30, and about 190 volts. So 34 kilometers an hour, not bad if you have 12 hours to charge your car, but it's free. So there is a 2-hour limit here at this location, so the most you'll be able to get out of it is about 65 kilometers, depending on the state of charge. There you go. So that is our level 2 30 amps. I have seen a 40 amp level 2, and again that charges at about 45 kilometers an hour. Now let's move on. Next is the high power wall connector. This is what you can buy from Tesla. I think it's about $600 or $700. We have it on an 80 amp breaker, and the reason why we have it on an 80 amp breaker is because on my Model S, the 2015 85D, it could accept 72 kilowatts of charge. Now let's see what the Model Y can do. Whoops! So here we are, we have a temperature of 23 degrees, 273 kilometers on the battery or range, and here we are. So it is maxed out at 48 amps. So it's ramping up now. $34, come on. So we're getting some pretty impressive speeds so far. So there you go. So full 48 amps at 274 kilometers on the battery, 23 degrees, and we're getting approximately 68 kilometers an hour charge put back in the car, which for anyone, it doesn't matter what your commute is during the day, if you came home at night and plugged in and let this charge for, well, you'd probably go full tank in less than 8 hours, probably 8 hours. So there you go. So this is with the high power wall connector, 236 volts, 48 amps, and approximately 68 kilometers an hour. Like if I wanted to go on a road trip tomorrow, what would it take to get up from 53%, I think it was, to 100%? There you go. It's only going to take 3 hours and 45 minutes to fill the tank from 50% up all the way up. And then trying to fill up at these high ends, it's not worth it. It's best just to go from anywhere between 10% up to 85%. Any more than 85%, it's not worth your while. So there you go. Let's move on to the next one. So here we are at the Chatamo charger. This is a 50 kilowatt charger. It's a DC fast charger. And here on the Model Y, we're getting 38 kilowatts, which is approximately 246 kilometers an hour. So the state of charge is 37%, and it's still 23 degrees centigrade outside. And what 37% is, in distance, is 191 kilometers. So right now I have 191 kilometers. For me to get up to 85% is going to take 45 minutes. And the maximum it can go, of course, is 50 kilowatts, but I've never seen that. Even in my Model S, or the person I live with's 3. Hers, I think the most we got out is 42, I want to say 42 kilowatts. But I'm just going to pop into the store and I'm going to see if it jumps up from, well, now it's 38. Let's check it in a couple of minutes. Well, just back, and yeah, it looks like 38 kilowatts is about as much as I'm going to get out today. But that's still 248, 49, 50 kilometers an hour. And I was only gone for about 12 minutes, and I already put in 53 kilometers. So yeah, this is considered level 2 DC fast charging at, well, it's not really super fast, but it's 38 kilowatts. Alright, let's move on. Well, here we are at the beautiful 120 kilowatt hour supercharger at Sawasan Mills. Let's give this a try. So this is the real, I would imagine, version 2 supercharger. And let's see what kind of numbers we get here. So we're at 20 degrees Celsius, 52% state of battery. And let's change that to what our kilometers look like. Right there. So we're ramping up. Look at that, 125, 126 kilowatts. That's pretty impressive. So that is just over 800 kilometers an hour charge. And it says for me to get to 50 to 85% is going to be about 15 minutes. So that is really impressive. 118 at about 270 kilometers an hour charge. All right, let's move on. Well, here we are at the granddaddy of all superchargers. It is the V3 250 kilowatt supercharger here in Abbotsford, British Columbia. Well, let's give her a plug-in and let's see what she does. So right now we are at 51%, which equals 258 kilometers. She is charging now at 112 kilowatts and about 734, 735, 724 kilometers an hour. So the lower the charge, the faster the speed. So right now to get, well, it looks like what is 50% to 85% is only going to take 15 minutes. So this looks actually a little slower than the V2 charger, the 120 that we just showed. But yeah, no, this is the fast one. Well, there you go. There's all the different levels of charging that you can get on your Model Y, ranging all the way from the UMC to the V3 supercharger. I hope that helped you out figure out what kind of charging speeds you get. I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to make a comment, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.